look at that time.
Check, check, check. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, what's up? What up?
What's good?
We out here, baby. My name is Savage Royale.
Just Will.
You are tuned in to another episode of the StreamSpace podcast, Ep.7. We got a special guest with us today. What's your name, my man?
Aawful Aaron in the building. Was good.
Come on, man. This man is a fire visual artist, designer, creative from Cleveland, Ohio. Are you from Cleveland? Like,
Yes, sir.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
That's good to know. Yeah, you did say what you said. Willoughby?
Oof, don't do me.
Don't do you?
Don't do me. No, east side of
I
Cleveland.
came from Green, though, so you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, no shade to Willoughby, but no, I spent a lot of time from there. I graduated high school there, but I was born on the east side of Cleveland. The Collinwood area.
Okay.
Born there, then kind of bounced around. So I done been to Euclid. You feel me? Like Euclid, the Willoughby, like back and forth kind of between that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's jump right into it, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the early days. Young Aaron.
Baby
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, baby awful.
Before the origin story.
Right, exactly. We got to know.
Yeah, how did it start? What inspired you? What's your first memories of art when you were young?
Out the gate, like I really just remember like drawing Dragon Ball with my cousins. You know what I mean? Like that was my intro. Like, still to this day, like my interest in just a lot of that stuff just stems from me watching them like draw and like create like images based off of stuff that cartoons and stuff that they was watching. You know what I mean?
So you started off like, because I know my brother used to do that a lot too. Like he'd draw, like he loved drawing like the anime characters. Dragon Ball was all, and you had to draw some Dragon Ball if you was like the artist type and everything.
Yeah.
So did you start like kind of like just tracing and then going in and like freehanding it yourself later on and everything? What really was what was your first passion when it came to art?
So really like so like when my cousins just drawing for so long, they were just so ill at it that like for real, I just wanted their approval. So like, me being like the little cousin, like they was not trying to hear it, you know what I mean? Like and fairly, you know what I mean? Like I'm a baby. But the crazy part about it is just like me kind of just watching them draw. Like that's how I learned it and that's how I picked up on the craft. So really like I kind of came into art at like at a higher level. No, I don't want to say a higher level, but I came into it drawing. They were like several years older than me at this point, so I came into drawing thinking that that's just what it was. Meaning like, so by the time I kind of got into like school and got around like the other kids, like I was like my figures had bodies on them. You know what I mean? Like they had like like arms for real. They had like abdomens and you know what I mean. So
Had like stick arms
Very, very detailed.
coming off their head.
because I'm looking at Dragon Ball anime drawings all day, so I'm thinking that that's just what it. I'm thinking like, oh yeah, like yeah, okay. So I'm not really conscious or have awareness of anything else because I'm really just watching them draw and I'm just watching, being exposed to stuff that like older kids would be into, you know what I mean? So like my interest in like with like the whole visual language started there and then I feel like naturally with me just being at the time, I'm at my grandma's house, so I'm being like, she watching me and stuff, so I'm over there and it wasn't nothing to do for real. Like it was really nothing for a kid to do. So and like I wasn't a bad kid, you know what I mean? But I got whooped. I got a lot of whoopings, you feel me? Because I was just always in this stuff. Because I just got bored, like, in this joint, like, really just like, bruh, what the heck? Like, can I get into? So, like, I was on my, like, Tommy Pickles. And then, like, once I was old enough to understand, like, just drawing. And, like, once I got introduced to that, then I poured a lot of, I don't know, it just was like, yeah, bro, I'm going to just do this. Like, this is sweet. And so that was, I always just remember feeling like, that being like, I don't know, like before it was a safe space, it was just kind of like, yo, this is fire. Like this is like it didn't really matter. Nothing else like mattered, you know what I mean? And like at the core and like being so young, like having something to identify with and that like allow for me to have a voice in like world or this giant scheme of things, like that kind of just allowed me to communicate through a like different way to the point to where it's like I didn't have to feel so like I had to actually vocalize much of anything. I could really just be like,
Be yourself.
mm-hmm.
So when did you go and hey this is it's a hobby now, but like I'm gonna go do something with this now. You know what triggered that?
So that was like obviously much later. So like drawn throughout like high school. So okay, so from the from the like five essentially through like high school, you know, was just drawing. Getting different recognition for art, whether it's school awards or whether it would be eventually like state awards and then eventually like national awards. And so kind of just like going through like the different processes of that and just being like, okay, well, like this is clearly something that I'm very good at. um I enjoy it. And it was just something that like as I had different mentors, they were able to kind of point me in you know certain directions that allow for me and a person that was my skill at that time to just have different avenues to just continue to because obviously they saw something in me, and them knowing my background, they understood that there were resources that I might not have had access to. But that's where going to Willoughby played to my advantage because they had all of the time, all of the money, all of the whatever
All the resources.
for arts. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing is it wasn't really Willoughby's school system that turned me up in art, but the fact that they offered a vocational program, I was able to take visual communication at Euclid, which that was really the turning point for me because that's where I met my mentor that showed me like Photoshop. Like that's when she really kind of opened up the book and kind of just put me on to like more so like college level thinking. So at this point,
And the different avenues that you could do with it.
oh yeah, man, like I had that lady for 2 years, and like those are easily like the most like those when like talking about like kind of like I guess what kind of got me to this point, like those were the 2 years that kind of really shifted the tide.
And what age was this? You said.
So this is like junior and senior year of high school.
Okay.
So
That
17,
pivotal
18 type.
moment, yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. I was just looking at some of your work and I noticed the gorilla. I want to talk about that for a minute. What's the story behind the gorilla, if anything? If it is deep, maybe it's not. I don't know.
So, I have like drawings of gorillas from like I don't know, like middle school. So not that like it's even necessarily my favorite animal. And I don't know how this will affect me in the press later or not. But actually, yeah, fun fact, like I think me playing off of yeah, so like a gorilla is a creature that I appreciate for um its wisdom, its beauty and its strength. And it being just a very misunderstood creature.
Yeah.
And I think, without over highlighting this, that, there's a relationship with that as a black male. Um, especially being a black creative individual, I think there's this mystique around what it is that, you know, I am, the image that I portray, but then really knowing that there's something much deeper and something much more complex underneath the visual or what you see.
The so-called tough exterior.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I just noticed that. I don't know. Do you consider that like your logo? Or
Yeah, that's certainly. So the gorilla mascot is so right. So I guess like the over, not to give you like the over extended version, but
Yeah.
like my appreciation for the gorilla as a creature has always been there, and I think in my cunning display of just to show like my wit, but then also being able to almost use my mascot as an opportunity to critique American culture in itself,
Mm-hmm.
was just a genius opportunity. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of things about just even just Awful Aaron and the gorilla and a lot of the things that I'm doing that come from a very like artistic like fine art perspective, but then having like the background in streetwear, and then actually coming from like that environment, actually coming from like both sides gives me like a super advantage
Yeah.
to like kind of talk about things, but then also to frame them in ways to where it's very digestible. Like I feel that everything that I'm doing and what I represent is like bridge connecting, like
Like it's very like the art is. I'm just trying to summarize. What I'm gathering. Like the art is very like, it's not no low level art. It's high level art,
yeah,
but it's very relatable to the audience. The audience is like, okay, I can understand that. Where you can see like some abstract art, and you can like, all right, I guess this is art, right? And then, but you like, okay, this is really good, and I understand what he was going for.
exactly,
So
exactly,
on that point there, I was looking at some of your work, and you had the check painting,
yeah.
and then so speak on that, because that was what, from 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's a relatable moment. It was a scene where you had people all sitting playing what, checkers, right?
Yeah.
What was the area that was in? Was it a specific area, or was it that kind of just like a general area?
So yeah, really a general area.
Mhm.
Not really, set in any specific location,
Yeah.
but more so just, an idea.
Mhm.
Something that was, like it was more so like the drama for me, like
Yeah.
I'm setting the scene in just a very dramatic fashion to where it's kind of like location unknown,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when you could look at that scene and like you could be like, damn, like are they in hell?
Mhm.
And you can
Yeah.
also look at that scene and be like, yo, like it's very like futuristic, but it feels classic. And um that what you said, that summary is very accurate in in the sense that the stuff that I want to create, this a lot of that imagery, a lot of that stuff is coming from a very like authentic and like raw place.
Yeah.
So like the inspiration behind Check was, that was how I identified with being who I was as an individual, as an emerging artist, or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Like, and like that's how I felt being in the art space.
Yeah.
That's how I still feel being in the art space.
What about that word specifically though? Like check with an exclamation point. Like, is that word itself like means something? Like the
Absolutely.
move, like the actual move in the game. Like, is that something that you're correlating to like a position in life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You rolling? You can't. I'm
It's
just,
about to get deep.
no, because I'm.
I mean, yeah, talk about it.
That's fire. I'm glad you asked that.
Mhm.
I don't want to say people never ask me that, but um, so like the entendres that's occurring with that title alone is not only is checkmate obviously a move, or I'm sorry, checkmate is something that is said once you essentially conquer an opponent.
Yeah, and it's over.
It's done. That's curtains, right?
Mhm.
So on one hand, and so as you observe that piece, I'm slowly kind of just defeating them.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
The
So
doubters, the haters, everybody.
the
That's deep.
yeah, the gatekeepers, them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like as I'm defeating, it's like yeah, check, check, but then also from a financial standpoint,
Mm.
it's like I'm kind of I'm being like yeah, like y'all not about to play with me.
Where's my check? Check, please.
Run the check.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
a command. It's like bread. It's like rush. Like where's my value? Like
Especially when you put that exclamation point on the end, it's like it like commands a statement out of it. You know.
yeah, it's very aggressive.
It is. Like
It's
check
aggressive.
by itself and then
It's-
check with an exclamation is like two different things.
Yeah, yeah,
Check with the explanation is like I'm taking the board and tossing that boy up. Like check.
yeah.
I'm gonna flip this table
Yeah,
over.
and so I really appreciate I appreciate you like even like recognizing like that because
Yeah.
things like that all go into it. Everything that you see from the art, the rollouts, the ideology, like that, like this is all coming from a place that is constantly being like explored, constantly growing, constantly evolving, constantly trying to fit into or fit out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for those details to be very like for me to put myself through a lot of stuff to have those details kind of like get to a point to where they just kind of fall in a pocket and everything is just like okay, cool, like very intentional,
Yeah.
like for it to be recognized. I appreciate that, like for real.
That's interesting with art when they even say intentional because abstract can be intentional and it almost feels like it's not. You see
Yeah.
abstract painting, it was like, well, that was accidentally done. But it's still very intentional, but it's something about like the more realistic or the realism behind the art that's like you can feel the intention by just looking at it,
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, that was a cool piece though.
Process, like what I have come to appreciate about abstract work is like you said, I mean it's a process, like it's you have to have a destination or it'll just become like mud. Like it'll literally become like you'll overwork it. Like you ever like overcook some shit before
Yeah.
to the point to where you like, bro, I can't even eat this.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right. It was
it's-
good at first, and I had to keep messing with it.
It's
Yeah.
like that, bro. You got to take it off the grill at the right time, and
Yeah.
the more you go through it, you just get good at it. You like, oh, that joint golden brown. Yep, let me get that real quick,
Right.
because that it still is actually cooking. Once you take it off.
Yeah.
So to like work and get your piece, your idea to a certain point, and then get to a point to where you're comfortable with just letting it go, and knowing that it still is going to develop outside of your reach. You just delivered it to a certain point. You delivered it to the guest, and now the experience of them enjoying that meal, the experience of the ambiance, the experience of all of that stuff is now that's out of your hands as a chef.
That's a good way to just a good way to like look at it too, like the cooking and like people experiencing, because even like just thinking about art and like art that's like lasted for generations and generations and centuries, right? Like people are gonna interpret it forever, and it's still cooking, right? Like something that an artist has made like 300 years ago. How everybody looks at it now might not even be what they intended it to be, but it's still cooking, right?
Yeah.
Like the cave writings, the paintings in the cave, and that probably wasn't even art.
It probably wasn't
It
art.
wasn't even probably intended for art. That was like
They was
that could have
just-
been a message for the people
trying to
that's
tell a
coming
story.
later. Like, yo, I ran off in the woods and
Don't go down there.
Yeah, it's a bear down there. We just think, look, they drew a bear. Like,
Bruh, your baby mama is looking for you.
Run.
she came through here with a club, my G, and it was about yay big. Like,
she went that
bruh.
way.
but no, so like seriously though, like art at its best is just remnants of what's happening. You know what I mean? So like the best art in my mind right now is the art that's being created by contemporary artists that are really like living this shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, don't wait till I die. You feel me? Like, because at that point, it's like we could have a conversation about it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
can tell you, like, you know what I mean? It's like I could tell you what my thought process and my intention is right now. You know what I mean? And it's we move into a place to where it's like that self expression, just being a creative, creating, like that's something to where it's like I feel like it's more value in that now. People are recognizing it as the value that it's been all along, you know, and this is the rise of the creative class.
Right.
You feel me? Like that's a real thing. Thanks to the internet, we're in the age to where it's like we were just talking about. It's like you could have a vision for something, you can pick it up and go, like get to it
And everybody can get it quickly.
quickly and instantly. You know what I mean? Art loves speed.
Yeah.
Like the best artist gets that shit on. Like you got to get it down. You know, like
You got to get it out to the masses quick before somebody else try to jock that stuff.
Well, and I mean, hopefully you can get it to the masses, but sometimes it's just getting something that's tangible and just getting it to, even if you got like 200 followers, getting it to them people.
Yeah.
Getting it to whoever your audience might be, and understanding that if it's anything that you like, then there's other people that like it too. So if you can create something that's dope and you feel that it's dope, even if you don't feel like it's dope, it's people that's probably gonna like it, bro. Like
just find those people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of your collaborations. I seen you had the Maker's Mark collaboration. Was there any other collaborations you had in the past that stand out to you that you enjoyed?
Yeah, the Maker's Mark promo was dope. That was a very cool experience. Next, that was probably
Clothing store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I seen that. Yeah, so you had a line of some designs that you had made that they sold out the store. Is that how that went?
Yeah. So they. Yeah. So I did some designs. I designed a collection of merchandise that they had me like go through some pieces that they had, and just like it was like like we rocking with what you got going on. Like how can we
combine it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now was that what was I was gonna say? I just had my thought and it just escaped me. Oh, was that the first time you ever had some of your clothing or any pieces like in an actual store like that? Besides like a gallery or maybe like a art, curated event? Was that your first time in an actual store?
No, I've been on so I've been on consignment before, but what was interesting about that collab was, my first brand, ADHD Apparel. Like that was some shit like that I did in high school. Like, well, after high school, like technically, like people that's been following me like before, like the Aawful Aaron shit, like are like are hip to that. But my first brand, like we tried to get our shit in the next, and like they wasn't the product wasn't developed enough. You know what I mean? Like
the physical product or like the brand behind
it? No, fuck all that shit. This shit was fire.
Like, I
don't know why I said it like that.
They weren't seeing the vision.
Yeah, it just was too. I mean, but rightfully so. It's like who are these kids? Like I understand. Like as you get older, you understand like the business of things. So it's like, but yeah, bro. Like so that was like one of those things where it was kind of like okay, cool, like we just gonna get it on our own, like whatever, like it's all good, like cool. But so for that to kind of come full circle, which that came as a result of my first solo show, the show that that's when I did Check, like that was a part of that body of work. Yeah, like once that show occurred and like the buzz around that show led to that collaboration, and then so no, it wasn't my first time being in stores, but that was my first time being featured in that way. Like they damn near gate like it, like
it seemed like you had a whole like section in the store, like
bro,
a whole wall.
They show love, like like shout out to the my homies at Next and what they got going on over there. Like they showed me a lot of love, and to be honest, like I'm glad that went that way, because now hopefully like I hope that could serve as a blueprint. You know what I mean? Where it's like yo, I feel like a lot of people that are in position, they be scared to show love, because of whatever reasons. But it's just like, yo, if you do your homework and you know what I mean, like it's a genuine relationship there, and you know, like, cause when I come to the table, I come to the table representing me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of that art, paint shit, that shit go out the window, bro. Like you at that point, you talking to low key a different creature.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's because of my first experience and my first brand. You know, I had to learn the ins and outs of, quote unquote business the hard way.
Right.
You know, so.
So what? So was that a way like when you had the collaboration with Next? Was that something that made you want to move into like your own space of having another brand again and another clothing brand? How did you just jump back into that space?
So okay, so 2021 with my essentially my first solo show. Um, Before I got that opportunity, I knew that coming from like a corporate background, coming from at this point working at Nordstrom's, I knew that like I wanted to get back into not even really just streetwear, but I just wanted to get back into like the mix. You know what I mean? Like at this point, it was like I've been able to just observe. I was doing commissions and stuff for like people. Like I've always kind of been doing like art, like on, like kind of like an underground perspective, but really just appreciating how things were developing and understanding, just where I was at in the stream of time. That I knew that, like I was like, okay, like I have a vision for myself and what I want to like accomplish in Cleveland while I'm, while my time while my time here is or during the time. And so like having that vision and then just kind of using, my current job and using resources and understanding the language and kind of just seeing like, okay, like what's the correlation between this and what I want to do, and then like using my job at that point, using my day job as a resource. And then also, you know, being a supervisor in logistics allowed for me to literally see how logistics operate. Packing, getting merchandise, packing it, and so I couldn't have asked for better scenarios to prepare me for where I am now, and that's with everything that I've been through up until this point. And so, yeah, man, like really just having that sense of like, yeah, like no, I got like I definitely got like something that I want to say. I knew that with my fine art, like that I wasn't at a point to where I wanted to be, and I knew that I had a lot of room to grow in that area. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to like come back crazy. And it felt like and I call it a comeback. I didn't really go anywhere, but really what it was it was a shift of seriousness that kind of just shifted a gear. So it was like the first time it shifted was like junior to senior year, and then it shifted again in my first brand at a point, and there it just cranked it up. And then so this essential third like shift will be me kind of just being like, I remember one day when I was at Nordstrom, this one of the janitor dudes was like, I showed him one of my pieces of art. I mean, he was a foreign guy, and he just looked at me with this crazy. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Like he hit me with the
Yeah,
like.
you're wasting your talents.
But it wasn't like I've heard that. But the thing is though, bro, is I've heard that before,
Yeah.
and like this dude was an asshole. Like he was just real, but he was funny. He was funny. Like me and him like always like we would like fuck with each other, but like he was like super dead ass, and I kind of felt like damn nigga, like for real. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
because at that point it was just like but this is at a point to where like I was already low key like in my like like nah, like I'm knowing that this ain't it, but
Yeah.
I had a plan at this point to be like, yeah, let me get up out of this joint, but
Right.
while I'm here, let me just
Sometimes that
scrape up this.
validation from a random stranger really just like, because you get that validation from maybe a friend or a family, like maybe just saying that just to say that because you don't want to hurt my feelings because you know me. But that stranger, like that was a very true statement when he said that. It was like
Yeah.
unbiased.
They
He
don't
don't
He
have
had no
They
reason
don't have no
to-
he don't
investment
get-
He
in
ain't
you.
had no reason to hold me
he
at
don't
all
gain or
whatsoever.
lose nothing from that. So yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that really, I remember that moment just being like just fuel, and I just remember it was it was just fuel, more fuel on the fire, just to the point to where like it literally like I became obsessed with like like my vision and like being on my path. And
Yeah.
a lot of people would say that I've always been like this, and I can attest to that. But like the difference is like when you have clarity and you like got the motion,
Very
it's
direct.
different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think before I was just people heard the motor and they was like, oh yeah, bitch fast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they didn't know how fast I really was because I didn't have a destination.
Yeah.
So they was just like, they just saw it in the driveway, and I was just polishing that thing up every day. You feel me? Like, and it was just like, he gonna put that on the street one day, bruh. Like, and when he do,
Gonna kill 'em
bruh.
all.
It's gonna be crazy.
So, and that's what it felt like. Like Vin Diesel when he pulled the muscle car out the garage. It was that, bro. It was
Yeah.
that, and it was really like once shit hit the fan, the pandemic was the end of that.
it set
Was
it
the
off.
end of the first. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was because it was like I was preparing for everything that the pandemic will ultimately afford me, and how it like having the foresight, and it's like I didn't like, bro, nobody, I didn't have the foresight that it was gonna be a pandemic, but having the foresight of just being like, nah, bro, like I'm about to like bank on myself, bro, like I'm not getting no younger.
All
Like,
in.
yeah, like it was
Yeah.
just like it's either this or that. And so I'm like, yo, Lord willing, if I get the opportunity, bro, I'm going crazy. And that's all I knew.
I've been seeing you out here in these streets, though, man. Like I said, this is our first time actually meeting in person, but you've been out here in these streets for since I've seen,
That's love.
been
Appreciate
aware
you.
of you. So yeah, definitely keep that grind going, man, because you on a journey for sure.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
There was I was doing some reading about you a little bit on your website too, and there was this one. I don't even know if it was your website. It was another. I think a write up about you I was reading, but you had a statement that was cool. I want to talk about it real quick. You said you felt you aligned more with Virgil Abloh than Basquiat.
Yeah, that was the Canned Journal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did an interview with Jimmy Israel, but
That's
yeah,
an interesting line, especially since you come from painting and actually drawing. I just thought that was an interesting statement.
yeah. So yeah, man, Virgil was a skate kid.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like
Oh yeah.
me and Virgil are cut from the same cloth, bro. Like
Yeah.
me and that doesn't like dim my appreciation for like Jean Michel at all. You know what I mean? Like I think, you get artists talking about Jean Michel and da 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 da, but it's just like it wasn't the art for me, bro. It was that man's vision.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I like Jean Michel Basquiat for the not superficial reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Neither like I mean, and who cares? But like Jean Michel Basquiat's branding and his vision is why I like him. The level of, that was a very intelligent man.
You talking about Basquiat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's what I appreciate about that individual. But when I say that I align more with Virgil is also very, very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Engineer.
yeah, rest his soul. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, rest both of their souls.
Yeah, definitely.
No disrespect to neither of them.
And I don't think it's like disrespectful, like when you just appreciate somebody
Yeah.
more than another person, just because you align with them a little bit more. Like you said, like you have similar walks of life. Your goals and your path aligns more with that person, but that doesn't mean that you don't like what the other
Yeah.
person does. That doesn't mean like you can't appreciate and take things and learn from that other person too.
Facts. But to the but yeah, so okay, so like anybody who's been following Virgil since like back to when he was doing commissions for like skate shops and like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing now and what Virgil was doing like early in his career,
Yeah.
the similarities are crazy and that's not intentional, but that's just we come from the same cloth. Like that's
Yeah.
just the programming to be like, I have an idea. Okay, how can I maximize that idea to the point to where it's literally everywhere? Okay, I have creative leverage in my ideas, and if I position myself with the right people,
Yeah.
if I take the right jobs, if I curate my portfolio in a certain way, that's going to just afford me the stuff that I want and not having, a problem rolling your sleeve up to get the stuff done.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I align with that.
Mm-hmm.
I align with Virgil because his vision at the end of the day was so pure to him that like people, man, bro, like let's like people used to drag Virgil for a lot of his work because it was just so far and above niggas that they were literally just too dumb to understand and like
That didn't
like
stop him though.
at all.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And like I align with that shit. Like
Yeah.
just like relentless, like ignorant but genius like type of vision. Like ignorant in the sense that where it's just like, bro, like no, like I'm about to be on this, like I'm about to just ride this wave regardless of what anybody else feels about it because what's going to come as a product of this is going to be something that nobody has also never seen
Right. It's like
or have done.
you got the vision, and just because everybody else doesn't see the vision doesn't mean it's not a good vision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to pivot either, which I can see that similarity too. When you say you had your first brand and you weren't scared or turned off to pivot and start another brand. And Virgil was that way too. Like you'll see him doing something with music over here, DJing somebody's tape, and then over here dropping clothes with LV, and then over here curating off-white stuff. Like he just pivot at any given time, and I see that in your work too, where it's like it's a painting or it's you painting on an object. I think you had some basketballs, or I seen you had the water gallons. Like that was fire.
Thank you.
So just finding ways to be creative and not being in a box. I definitely see that similarity between you two. For sure, for sure.
It's like fine art, industrial design, like music, all of that stuff, right? Like so that's it's and Virgil is closer to like Virgil is closer to my generation.
Right.
So it's just
Yeah,
like
we're a little farther removed from where Basquiat was at.
yeah, right. You feel me? Like when you really think
Was
about
it like the 70s? Was that the 80s?
That was like the late 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't super like it wasn't like he would if Jean Michel was alive today, he'd be old. He'd be old, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but
Oh yeah, he will be.
But whereas Virgil was what 40 something.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like that's just like Virgil represented to me. Like Virgil was really just kind of like everything I needed to like Virgil winning was all I ever needed. Like I just like I personally, Aaron D. Williams personally just needed to see Virgil win, and everything that I was working up to, working for, you know what I mean, ain't had no clue what the heck nothing meant, you know what I mean, all of that
You ever
time
meet
and
him?
energy. Huh?
Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
No. No, man, that would have been. But like his work speaks so much volumes, and just being able to like recognize an individual, you know, at the core for, you know, fighting for something that they, you know, authentically believed in, time in and time out. Like, bro, like that was the role model.
I think that's what I pull from Virgil more so than like the art and the creative aspect is just like the belief in whatever you have going on. Your brand, you know, really just anything that you have going on.
Anything.
Just
And
like
positioning himself to be able to control
that too.
how everything is coming out.
Definitely
Yeah.
called the shots. He was a
Yeah.
shot
And that,
caller.
that's something like how you mentioned before. It's like, hey, I'm gonna put myself in the right places. I'm gonna do the right type of things that I'm gonna make sure that I have the control over everything because I want everybody to see my vision.
Yeah.
I don't want to just get on somebody else's vision, which sometimes it's cool to help people, but no, I want to be like, hey, this was me.
Yeah. Eventually, you know, I spent a lot of years in the background. You know, like it's shit that y'all probably seen that I didn't probably have something to do with, just on some like
Just there.
type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even with just my first brand, like during that time, like what was happening in streetwear, what was happening in the culture, like different shit. Like, bro, like I was around some people, dog. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, like, even then, getting like, you know, different validation in different ways. You know what I mean? Not to even say that I needed it, but just to know, like, all right, cool. Like, just like, I could damn near be in rooms with these niggas. Cool, nigga. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all
It's
right,
just
I
like
ain't even
okay, at least I know I'm on the right path. I'm going in the right direction. Like I'm getting close. I ain't hitting the shot fully, but I'm there. You know.
They don't want me here for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and I think that's important because it's like when you doing something that feels like, I don't want to say maybe never been done before, but like when you doing something where you might not have like not a lot of guidance, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Or
No
you
real blueprint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you be like kind of like, bruh, like is this shit going right? This shit going wrong? This shit going left, right, up, down? Like you don't.
Yeah.
And so like having those little nuggets, but the thing is like you have to be open to that. You know, like had I been too far in my bag, you know, too far in my ego, you know, maybe would have gave off a different type of energy that would have made those same individuals like, oh, this, like, you know what I mean? It could have been off-putting, or or I could have been in there running my mouth like, hey, check out my shit, da 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 da. Like, could have been annoying. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta know how to show up,
Maneuver too.
as yourself, and just be like, bro, you human like me, bro. Like we both, like you've achieved it 1st, perhaps, but you're also still in this marathon. You know what I mean? Because niggas fall off every day. You know what I mean? So
you seem like you're very comfortable with what you know you bring to the table.
Yeah, and that's just showing up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy, man. I was really insecure, like, in like when I was younger, for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't feeling it, and it wasn't. It had to do with a lot of like childhood trauma type shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just was not feeling like being in my body sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, just like, bro, like this shit weird here. Like, I don't know what the fuck going on. But, But every time I like did some art shit or I got back to the craft, it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. I could care less what anything was going on. And it was funny because people then giving my work attention made me then feel loved. So it's always been like this cycle of being like, I can heal through art and also maybe offer like a bridge into my world where I can kind of like meet and talk to people and kind of feel this connection that's deeper than just, you know, it's like some otherworldly like kind of connection to where it's
like
just
music.
Like, yeah,
It's like music.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of the core. I was talking to some, you know, Jay Capo.
Yeah.
I was talking to him earlier. But he was just saying some stuff about himself, and it got to the point where I was like, yo, everything you're saying is like the same thing that I know from a music standpoint. It's just you remove a painting with an instrument or a beat, you know, and it's like that same thing. It just takes you to this place, and you can connect with people that might be different, but like you said, it's that bridge that you just connect. It could be a different race, a different language, but that painting is going to connect people, or that song could connect people. So I feel you 100% on that.
And so to that example, like imagine a highway in like maybe like a super underdeveloped country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's paved, but that bitch rocky. It got, you know what I mean, it could be treacherous at some points. Sometime it might go through a riverbed or something, you know what I mean, whatever. But then, as those, locals, or, as the government or whoever steps in, and, they can, just keep getting that road to a point to where where it's taken care of. It's like, all right, well, let's get some concrete or something poured here, or let's at least make sure that it's not no brush falling down or nothing, like, just so that when people coming through here, case in point is you could work on a road to a point to where, it's gonna serve its purpose, but it could be a lot safer. You can make improvements. You can keep building it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like when you're working on your creativity. The more you're there, the longer you tend to it, the more you pour into it, the easier people can come through. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But eventually, you got to set up a toll road. And a lot of artists, they'll get their freeways smacking, but they just letting people just drive all through that joint for free.
Right.
Yeah.
And at a point, you got to just recognize, like, hey, I mean, I would love to get you to your destination, Jack, but the issue is somebody got to pay for these roads. You see, like,
If you want me to keep doing this,
yeah.
Yeah. So let's we're gonna switch it up. We got a little more time with you. We're gonna switch it up to our top three. Top three is a category where we're gonna give you way left. Top three of something. I'm gonna give you a topic. I'm gonna need your top three, of that topic. So I'm gonna just start
All right,
off
let's go.
first. Yeah. Top three movies.
Ooh, Akira.
Mm.
Okay, Akira.
I just watched Akira like 2 weeks ago too.
Yeah, bro, that's
really good movie.
that's so good. I would say Paid in Full,
Okay.
and damn, number 3.
That's rough.
Third movie, that's hard. All right, I'm gonna probably go to like a classic, Small Soldiers.
Okay.
Ooh, Small Soldiers. Okay.
That's the joint, the toy joint.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
That was a great movie.
yeah. That'll probably be my top 3 for now.
What you got, Jay?
Top 3. Just because you mentioned it earlier too, like kind of how like that was like your jump off point too, like top 3 animes.
Demon Slayer.
Okay.
Dude, Demon Slayer is so good.
Demon Slayer's hard.
I can't say Attack on Titan because I truly haven't caught that yet. So I'm gonna exclude that.
It's dope. It's gonna move up there when you watch it.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. That's how I feel. That's when I see stuff about it. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna have to tap in on that. Okay, so I'm gonna say Demon Slayer. Oof. Samurai Champloo. And
I gotta watch that.
dog, yeah. And then, damn, 3. It's so many. The third spot will probably be a tie between like Afro Samurai and
Afro Samurai was really good.
probably Afro Samurai or, dude, damn. But then Dragon Ball Z though.
Yeah. I feel like Dragon Ball Z gets so much hate,
yeah.
though, man, for no reason. Good.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go probably Afro Samurai for the third slot.
Okay. So your top 3 items that you need at the barbecue, food wise. What you need at the barbecue?
Dude, that's crazy. All right, so somebody got to definitely come through with like, I need some kind of like, what's that what's that punch that black people be making at the
Oh, you talk about
at the graduations?
with
Like
It's
the jungle, like the jungle juice.
No, with the sherbet in
with
it.
the sherbet.
Sherbet?
The
Oh,
7-Up,
hey.
John.
Hey, that
Yes.
stuff smash.
There's no
haven't-
name for it.
Yeah.
I haven't had that in so long. If you ever see me in the streets and you want to make me happy, pull up on me with a fresh
Yes.
canister of that stuff.
You gotta put like the Sprite in there too, so you can give it a little.
Actually,
Pineapple juice.
make it on the spot. Like, don't bring
bring
it
it.
pre-mixed. Like,
Yeah.
Bring the ingredients.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm gonna say whatever that concoction is, cause that's fire.
Yeah.
Definitely the burgers and the glizzies.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you just gotta have that.
It's not a barbecue if there's no hot dogs. So I don't care what else you have. Like,
Like what? That's actually weird. Like, what is y'all doing?
You throwing those on first so everybody can eat while the rest of the stuff is cooking.
That's the
Right.
most like that's just not a responsible barbecue.
I
The kids,
can't trust
it's
you.
clearly
Kids
it's
can't
clearly
eat,
no
man.
kids there. Like, y'all don't care about
Oh,
the
it's
youth.
all steaks.
Y'all- like, I see how y'all rocking.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah. So yeah, that jungle juice the situation. The
You know the
classic-
uncle on the side pouring some Henny in his jungle juice. too.
Yeah, and it's versatile, bro. That is a versatile,
It mixed with anything.
bro. Like, that is
Yeah, for real though.
what? Damn. And my next art opening, bro, I think
Just a big jug of that.
they
Just,
gonna be like,
you gotta have the old school, like the orange
The big
with the white top.
Or the big,
bruh,
or no,
the
big giant bowl.
Gatorade.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Bruh.
just a big giant open bowl, and everybody just dipping that.
Oh,
boy
with
out
the
a
scooper,
spoon.
with the scoop.
Yeah, with a big spoon.
Maybe in this climate, probably have it closed. You know, 'cause I'm not trying to be responsible for no shit. They not about to be talking about. Yeah.
Somebody
nah.
call you next day, hey, man, bro, what was inside that juice?
Man. Yeah.
Okay, so you got some juice. You got the
okay,
hamburgers and dogs.
then, right, and then so the last one for the barbecue, what I need at this barbecue, bruh, I really need the music there. Like, it gotta be like fire music too, like Will Smith summertime type.
Frankie
Oh,
Beverly and May.
the good
You-
time music.
You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
something that's gonna have the ladies there, happy, smiling. You know what I mean? Something that's gonna have, you know what I mean, the old ladies in there
Yeah.
hitting the shuffle. You
It's
know,
Earth,
a couple
and
of,
Fire.
you feel me, bro? Because
Yeah.
we need more of that, bro. Like, I'm
Mhm.
so tired of like all this negative, weird shit going on. I'm for
Depressing
real,
shit,
bro.
bro.
Like, I really just like,
It's a classic party. Just
yeah,
a kickback.
man, like everybody.
barbecue.
No
Yeah.
beef, you feel me?
Nope.
Like, niggas leave the straps in the car type shit. Like,
Yep.
don't even bring that shit. As a matter of fact, actually, no, you could bring your shit. Just leave that just leave it in the car.
Leave
You
it in the
feel
car.
me? Like,
Mm-hmm. What you got, Jay?
Top 3 essential clothing items.
Okay.
essential garments.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's gonna be harder than the anime.
Mhm.
Okay, so I gotta have some kind of man bag. I
Okay.
don't have a man bag on me today because I'm traveling pretty light right now. But I think I don't know why like some niggas be running out the house without the kit. You need to be ready at all times. Whether that have a brush in there, have some chapstick.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? How you can carry your papers for whatever you into.
Right.
Whatever you believe the papers are.
Whatever, yeah. For your papers and your paper, you can put your wallet in there, other tools. It's just a very like essential modern day tool. You know what I mean? So, you might catch me with like some kind of, like
Strap or handle? I mean,
hey, bro, like I really. One of my favorite bags is like this Capital, like messenger bag.
okay. Fire.
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's very like it's just very practical. You know what I mean? Especially for me because I be moving around a lot, like in and out of meetings. Like I can carry like my iPad in there. I can.
Right.
I just read. You know what I mean? It makes sense. So I'm gonna say that
candy
that's
bar up in there.
man. A
Never
couple
know.
snacks.
Yeah, I feel you
me?
guys
Like,
for real though.
you feel me? Like
Yeah.
some, throw some stickers. Like it range. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
gonna be one. I mean, essentials. Let's see. Definitely like outerwear. You know what I mean? You gotta have outerwear that match the proper occasion. You know what I mean? I think that go a long way. But then, also really like denim. Like having good quality like denim.
Okay.
You can make that stretch
Long time.
like a lot of different fits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can really live in them joints. You know what I mean? You can't live too hard in certain jeans. You feel me, bro? SpongeBob, nigga.
Right. Boys ripping every day, but you get some classic stuff, some good quality
man,
stuff, and that's gonna last you like 10, 15 years. To be honest,
Go ahead and invest
we all
in some
got
good
jeans on
denim.
down here right now. I mean, that's probably the most popular piece of clothing, at least in America.
Yeah.
Like denim, it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was counting one day, I had like 10 pairs of jeans. I'm like, for what? Like why?
Just be
just can't
having
help it.
jeans.
Just be having jeans though.
But like especially like at a certain point, you know what I mean? Like we not gonna grow that much, so it's like nigga, I'm still rocking jeans from damn near
For real,
nigga, 20.
Yes,
nigga,
bro.
what?
Yes.
I'm rocking jeans since like my jeans damn near like I got some jeans that's as old as some people got kids now, bro. Be like, come here, little Timmy, get over here. Yeah, you coming with me, little
No,
buddy.
I got some jeans that's old like that though, bro. Denim is probably also it gets better over time.
Yeah,
Other
bro.
fabric don't really do that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every other fabric get worse over time.
Facts.
Not denim
Absolutely.
though. The more worn, the more I like it.
For real, like if my shits don't look like something out of the Walking Dead or The Last of Us, and everything is still intact, nigga, come on now. Like, let that man eat, man.
You been watching The Last of Us?
Man, Last of Us is awesome.
It's crazy, bro.
Man, it's
I ain't
crazy.
You watching
but-
it too? You know,
Man, the most recent episode, man, it was like, man, it was all of them were good.
But
man.
this is my mistake. I went straight to episode 7. Don't
You
ask
watch it
why,
from
what?
bro. Look, it's a long story, and I can't really. I disclose. We can have.
We'll talk about it off camera.
HBO shouldn't even let the app shouldn't even let you
like,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, you know, you got to go back, sir.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Like, they skipped the line, bro.
It
Like,
just
no.
shut off, like just
Bruh.
take you back.
You're not ready for
Yeah.
this.
Bruh, long story short, I hopped in that joint at the wrong time, and bruh, it was the episode with the boy. Wait, actually, I don't know how far y'all.
No,
are.
no, we
With
good.
Y'all-
No, we all
caught
good,
up.
yeah.
It was the
brothers.
one, bruh, the brothers.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Not the little boy turned
Man.
into a zombie,
Hey,
bro. I
bruh.
was through.
That shit almost made Lil Thug cry, man. I'm like,
bruh.
I thought they was gonna make it. I'm like, oh, they gonna be part of the crew.
I was
But I also played the video
through.
game, so I like knew that they weren't gonna be part of the crew.
Bruh. I
Oh,
was
sad.
through, yeah. So, that episode beat me up, and then I watched the one after, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this some shit, bruh.
It's the most emotional, like
Bruh,
zombie, like
yeah.
post-apocalyptic.
She had to
I've
sew
ever
up
seen.
her man. I was like, whoa, but that's bro. I can see, and this is my like hate love relationship with certain shows. Certain shit I don't want to relate to. Certain shit like I don't need it to hit that close to home. I feel like it's a threshold of and to that show's credit, like there's a threshold of like comfort that a viewer feels when viewing anything. I don't care how desensitized you are. There's certain things that for each person there's like a realm of triggers. And like once you cross that, it just like you damn near think the shit is really happening to you. Like you kind of forget, like you, like when that scene happened, like bruh, like it's like I don't want to see black niggas die, bruh.
That's
I
why
don't
I
care
couldn't
if
watch
this
the
is
Dahmer show.
zombies. I don't care if it's
Man, you
That's
and you
why I
know
didn't
what?
watch the Dahmer show, bro. I
it's
said,
like
absolutely not, bro.
because it's like for some people, like if you in the suburbs or wherever, it's like that might be like no. Like it might be easier to separate that, but it's like in my environment, it's like I see black bodies for real, bro. Like I see like that shit is really going on. So like that was a trigger for me. So and I was like very like, ugh,
I think they just and also it's like what they do a really really good job of getting you invested in someone who you just saw for the first time.
You was
They
just
get you
getting to love him.
every
And that's
single
the hook.
episode. They
That's
get you
the
invested,
hook.
bruh, and then they take them away. And they always make you feel like they
Nigga
gonna make
pissed
it,
off.
and then they take them away.
I don't got time,
For
bro.
real,
He's
bro.
been
Like,
hurt.
it's really like
We gonna leave out tomorrow.
yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see you in episode. Oh man, y'all big, bruh.
Man. It's like if you don't have commitment issues already, you watching that show will have you never loving nothing ever again. Because you just be like, wow, what's the point?
What's
can't
the point,
trust
bro?
y'all.
If some zombies come through this joint,
Like, why
and
this dude don't
like-
never get attached to nobody? Because I saw the Last of Us, and I just can't get invested in no one no more.
It's a
I
wrap.
don't wanna
Like
lose
my heart
nobody.
is singed. Like that last episode, bruh. Like
It ain't over yet. They gonna get you again. They got something else coming.
But you know the interesting thing about that is understanding how that works. You can then reverse engineer that element into like your craft, and that's why when I create my art, like I create my art from a raw place. You know what I mean? Like very transparent, like very like raw, unfiltered, like but very intellectual, you know, like so it has it has all of those elements that are very much me, but I know that as much as it is relatable, it's equally very telling and very deep. Like you can like you know, like I'll know that I've you know made it when like, you know, Harvard students is studying my shit.
Yeah.
You know, like there's whole ass lectures when I'm getting invited to
Smithsonian and
yeah.
I'm gonna say real quick, that was a really good segue back into the art too.
that was smooth.
That was very smooth though.
Yeah, hey, you know, I mean, this
said
not my first time.
This
around.
ain't my first rodeo, right?
I do this.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, shout out to StreamSpace. You feel me? Like you are now rocking in.
That's right. That's
Rock
right.
with the best.
But yeah, man. I think we had a really good conversation with you, bro. I think we tapped a lot of topics. We definitely got some insight into you, your journey, your start. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we close? Future wise, anything you got coming up?
Anything?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm about to
let them know.
do a group show soon. About to be curating my first group show coming up here soon in the spring. So be on the lookout for that. More details on the way. Yeah, man, and you know I'm really just back in the lab now. You know, I'm back. Yeah, about to just be back in the lab like overtime. You know, kind of just been living life and kind of just figuring out. Appreciating my wins and kind of just trying to set a new course, a new destination, and yeah, just enjoying the journey for real, man. I think I had to, excuse me, I think for a while, like, I was just going too damn fast, like, to the point to where, like, I wasn't able to enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, the shit was damn near gone, you know, and it's like, I don't want to really live that type of life to where, yeah, like, I'm doing all this cool, gnarly shit on one end, but then on the inside, like, it's just, you know what I mean, passing me by. Like, I just feel like, you know, with me, like, approaching, like, 30 this year, like, I'm just more, like, okay, let me really just, like, evaluate what's, like, important and, like, not stay intentional, but, like, let me just
live in the moment.
Yeah, because that's really going to help inform the art. And, you know, it's all full circle. So, you know, I look forward to just making new work that's not necessarily from, I would say, maybe a more darker space, but, like, you know, get into, like, making, you know, and crafting from a place of fun again. You know, I'm trying to, all of this, bro, is really just to really tie this in, like, all of this, everything that I do and what I stand for, not only am I trying to provide a platform for the next generation and for more, you know, for the next wave of artists and entrepreneurs and, you know, people just self-believers, you know what I mean? People that's on that wave, is aside, in addition to that, I'm trying to go back to that point, when I was like 5, I'm like trying to go back to that journey, or I'm on that journey to return back to that state to where, like no ego, like
There's really no thought at that point. Your arms and you was just doing, No.
Well, I mean, it's very much that, but I guess I mean like, on that quest for that nirvana of peace.
Oh yeah, freedom.
Like,
oh yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, it's really all about just trying to be in that space, because I know when I'm in that space, I'm really like the best awful person I could be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the best, worst.
Yeah.
Human. No, but in all seriousness though, like I feel like I'm able to do more for my people. Like, I feel like I'm able to, just give more. You know what I mean? So
yeah. All right, man.
Sure.
Well, you heard it here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all can follow me at Aawful Aaron. That's AAWFULAARON. Check out my website. That's awfulaaron.com. Yeah, we got more stuff on the way. I appreciate y'all for having me come through and chopping it up with y'all.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it. StreamSpace, Savage Royale, DJ Just Will.
Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification.
Tell your grandmama about it too.
Let her know.
Peace.
What's going on.
All right.